What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and we have a bunch of new Metalfoes to talk about coming out in Blazing Vortex. And yeah, Metalfoes are getting support, and if you guys have been around for a while, you know that Metalfoes was a Tier 1 deck. Some of you don't know this, but it was one of the only Tier 1 decks I've actually ever played competitively and tried. Teller Knights, and Spellbooks were the three meta decks I have played when they were meta. And yeah, I played a lot of this deck. I really just liked a lot of the things you could do with it, and they have support. After, I swore off never playing this deck again after it royally, just kind of, I always got, bricks and everything with it. But anyway, we're going to move into the first card, which is Metalfoes Milkcaster. Scale 1, level 7, 2000 attack, 2500 defense. Its Pendulum effect is, you can target one other face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, set a Metalfoes spell or trap card directly from your deck. That's what all Metalfoes Pendulums have, or almost all of them. So from here on out, I'm probably going to skip that effect, and I'm just going to say it has the normal Metalfoes Pendulum effect. Its monster effect, which is unique for them. Before this, we had one main deck monster that was an effect monster, and all the other ones were normal monsters. But if this card is if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can add one face-up Metalfoes Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand, except for itself, but you cannot activate a card with that name in your Pendulum zone for the rest of this turn. It's another way to get your scales back, which is a really good thing in with this current Master Rule, to get around the need for Pendulums, or for Link monsters, because Pendulums still need the Link monster when summoning from the extra deck. But it is a pretty good card, and it's something to look out for, and definitely going to add some more power to the deck. So yes, this is pretty good. Next up, Metalfoes Vanisher. Metalfoes Vanisher, level 9, 2900, 1900 defense, and its Pendulum effect is, it has a different one. If you control, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can add one Metalfoes card from your graveyard to your hand, except for itself. This recycles mainly the spell and trap cards, but that's also really good for the deck, because there are times when you would want to maybe Xyz summon with them, and even though it's mainly a fusion deck, Xyz summoning is something the deck can do, and that's a way to get them back. Monster effect. If you can target 2 face-up cards you control, including a Metalfoes card, destroy them. And if you do special summon this card from your hand, if this card is special summoned by a Metalfoes card effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard and banish it. So it can summon itself. You just pop 2 of your Metalfoes monsters and then special summon this, banish one of your opponent's card, and then Pendulum summon your stuff back. That's something you can do, especially because normal monsters have a bunch of support, and like I said, all the other Metalfoes, except for a small handful of them, are normals. So yeah, definitely decent. It's removal, and it's a rank 9, or it's a level 9. You could make other level 9s with it, because, they're hard once per turn, the first 2 effects, but you could Pendulum summon and tribute out a second one from your hand, and then go into a true king of all calamities, for example. But yeah, not bad. I definitely like this one a little bit more because you can Pendulum summon out with Metalfoes, but this one's also pretty decent. Next up, we have a Pendulum Fusion monster for them called Metalfoes Azothiles. That's what I'm going with. Fusion, Psychic, Pendulum effect, level 7, 2500 attack, 2000 defense. Pendulum effect. face-up Metalfoe card or cards you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can target one face-up card on the field and destroy it. That is fantastic. Pop a scale that you don't need. You know, maybe you're just like, oh, I have an 8 and I have 2 8s. Pop that and everything, and then you get to pop one of their cards, and you get a spell or trap card, and then you can pendulum summon from the deck, assuming you have a level 1. So, to fusion summon it, it requires a Metalfoes monster and any one fusion. You can only use this card's effect once per turn. This card special summon from your extra deck. You can target one card your opponent controls. Shuffle 2 face-up pendulum monsters from your extra deck into the main zone, or main deck, and if you do, destroy the target. If this card is in your monster zone destroyed, you can place it in your pendulum zone. So, the idea is kind of you destroy it. You can destroy it, pop it with one of your Metalfoes scales, and then put it in the pendulum zone if you need to. Another thing you can do with this is it recycles some of your Metalfoes from your extra deck if you're kind of struggling to get those back, because you can't really like pendulum summon too much. Like if your hand's not good enough, this card can kind of help. So yeah, decent card, definitely pretty good for the deck. So far these cards are all pretty good, and they definitely are like helping the deck a lot. And so it'll be interesting to see if these cards kind of help push Metalfoes back into like a meta part or a splashable archetype, because Metalfoes are also pretty splashable if you wanted them to be. So yeah, next up, Heavy Metalfoes Amalgam. Link 2 and its arrows are left and right, so unfortunately doesn't open up any link zones, but that is okay. Because since, like I said, most of the Metalfoes are normal monsters, you can use Link Spider and then get out 2 Metalfoes monsters, and this will open up more zones. So, 2 Metalfoes monsters is its requirements. So, they learn their mistake from the other Metalfoes Link monster that was a generic one. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by a card effect, you can activate one of these effects. Target one Metalfoes monster you control, equip this card as an equip spell, and it gets 1,000 attack. You can target one Metalfoes card you control, destroy, and if you do, special summon this card. So, you can obviously get itself back, which is another thing it can do that would be great. You can, summon this, right? Then pop it with one of your scales, and then destroy one of your scales in order to get this back, and then it opens up zones for you. That's another thing you can do with this card, so you don't need to do the Link Karibo thing, apparently. It's a way to get around that, and it's a decent way to open up zones so you can pendulum summon at least 3 monsters if you have an extra slot zone open from your extra deck. So, last but not least, Metalfoes Fusion. Summon 1 Metalfoes Fusion monster from your extra deck, using up to 1 monster each from your hand, field, or among face-up pendulum monsters in your extra deck as material. So, this is another way to this is good. It cheats out a way to it cheats around kind of the summoning cost. I mean, the fusion ones from your extra deck will go to the graveyard, but that's okay. That they have cards that kind of, as we saw, they have cards to recycle themselves back from the graveyard, and they have ways to get them back from the graveyard, so that's good. And yeah, overall, these Metalfoes cards are all really good for the deck, and I'm hoping maybe we'll see this deck be brought back to life with this new support. If not, then, maybe the deck just can't compete with the rest of the decks. And yeah, at least it's nice to see that Konami hasn't completely abandoned the pendulum mechanic, because it seems like they haven't really released any pendulum cards ever since this new Master Rule started. So it's kind of nice to really see it, and I understand that, a lot of the community doesn't like pendulums, even more than links, surprisingly. Anyway, that is it for today. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me any cool deck profiles or replays, my email is in the description. Please feel free to do so. You can leave a like, comment, and subscribe, or dislike. It's up to you if you don't really like this video. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But if you want to support the channel for free, those are good ways to do it. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.